everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. I just want to say thank you very much to Charlie at the Penguin Zero YouTube channel for going over consumerrights.wiki in a recent video that he did. I'm really, really excited about this. This is a video on the whole concept of leasing or renting a game console, which I think is... It means something different now than it did in 2000 when I rented a PlayStation 2 from Blockbuster for 25 or 30 bucks to see if it was worth it because I could not afford $300 to buy it at the time. I wanted to see if it was worth it. I rented it with Midnight something. It was a racing game. I forget the name of it. It's been a long time. It's like 26 years ago. And Ace Combat and Rayman. I wanted to say, anyway, because back then, we did not live in a subscription economy. We lived in a world where you actually owned what you bought and paid for. And when you see this in a world where an average amount of RAM costs $1,000, it just kind of feels like you're being pushed towards renting everything and leasing everything rather than actually owning it. And that's annoying. And he shouted out the Consumer Rights Wiki at the end of this video, which I am incredibly grateful for. I've had a lot of people email me and say, you should probably try and get other content creators that talk about these issues to talk about it, because the stuff that I've been talking about in this YouTube channel for 14 years now is finally starting to get noticed by other people. The fact that you don't own what you bought and pay for, the fact that every company tries to revoke your ability to fix what you own, use what you own what you own. And yeah, I have not been the best at that. I'm not a social butterfly by any means. But thank you very much to Charlie for going over this. We got a fairly nice bump in viewership, and we had about, I think Keith said in yesterday's meeting, 4 or 5 people that joined and started editing articles that day. Now, granted, like 4 or 5 people joined that day, 1.7 million views. I'd like a different ratio, I'll be honest with you, if I'm going to be real here, but it's a start. We got 4 or 5 new people that were editing articles. Isn't that awesome? I'd like to see more. And I want to say thank you to everybody in the audience who came over. And I just wanted to introduce you to what it is we're doing here. So consumerrights.wiki is a site that goes over the revocation of ownership, whether we're talking about 3D printers that will connect to the internet or have a kill switch in them so you can't print certain things, or if it thinks it's a gun, Netflix having fucked up stream quality even if you paid for 4K. I put this article here because I want you to see this is what it started as and this is what it turned into. I don't want you to think that if you're just only capable of making this, that it doesn't belong in the wiki, because the community will come together and make it this. You ever see that meme where the guy is typing and there's a beautiful model class woman in the background crying and he's just sitting there at the computer and he says, "I'm sorry, honey, somebody is wrong on the internet"? Like, that's what wikis are for. Whether we're talking about Milwaukee having digital rights management in their batteries, Samsung televisions that require a subscription to be able to view photos, a motorcycle where there's features that get locked behind a paywall after people bought and paid for it already. There are many examples of anti-ownership practices. And what we're doing with this wiki is we want to make it as easy as possible for mainstream media outlets and other people to be able to cover these issues. If you are a reporter and you have 2 choices, you can do a story on something where 90% of the research has already been done for you and is cited, or you got to do it all from scratch. What do you think you're going to pay more attention to? You're going to pay more attention to the stories where 90% of the research is already done. Now, there are some people that have asked, well, Lewis, he didn't really shout you out in this video or talk about your YouTube channel. Good. I had a 30-minute conversation with Charlie, and that's exactly what I asked for. This is not about me. This is about the issue. This is about the movement. The entire point of consumerrights.wiki as a website is for no Louis Rossmann branding to be here. None. That's the whole point. This is supposed to be a neutral tone of voice. It's supposed to be a neutral website. My YouTube channel is my personality. It's bombastic. Some people like me. Some people don't. Whatever. I'm an acquired taste, I've been told. This website is supposed to be a website that is open to everybody. Even people that hate me and everything I stand for and the look on my face and the way that I talk and my attitude and everything else should be able to come to this website and be able to use it as a neutral resource. I need to create something that lives outside of me as a personality. And that's the point of this. And I don't want this to be some sort of way to promote my YouTube channel. I'm not using this to promote my personal brand. I'm using this to promote the actual cause. And I want to get as many people involved as humanly possible, even people that don't like me. I'm not asking you to donate money to it, but I am going to ask you to donate time. Are you able to make these articles better? Are you able to go on this page, click on this little list over here, articles in need of work, and try to actually make them better? Or just click onto a random page and see if there's something that you're familiar with. This is a stub. It is underdeveloped. It needs work to meet the content guidelines. Ask Keith in the community chat. Send him an email, keith@consumerrights.wiki. Ask him, what is it that can be done to make this better? And he'll respond to you. He'll probably kill me for putting his email out there publicly, but he'll respond to you. It's kind of awkward right now because we have a Discord, but there's a lot of reasons that people don't want to use Discord, and I don't blame them. Or maybe putting up a public Zulip, but that's for another day altogether. Take a look at this. Over here, articles in need of work. These are all articles that need work, that need better citations, that need editing in order to live up to our standards. Can you help make these better? Can you add articles based on your own experience? And again, if you don't have all the information in the world, it'll get labeled as a stub. If you're only able to write something like this, that's absolutely fine. Trust in the community. Trust in the pedantic, autistic fucks of the internet, myself included, who will spend time at 2 in the morning at the expense of our relationships and our lives, turning it into this because we want to correct something that is wrong. And look at this. Look at how beautiful this is. Now, many of you may be saying, Lewis, what's the point? Most people don't even care about this. It's not going to change anyway. And I don't want you to think of it in that context. Yes, you're right, that a politician is not just going to take a look at my little list right now and then just magically come up with something that says people own things. Companies are not just going to do an about face immediately because something like this happens. But what I've learned throughout the course of my life, and what I want to impart onto all of you, is that there are going to be these decision moments. There's going to be these very specific moments in time where all of the work that you've done to prepare for them is going to be very worthwhile for you. Take the movie The Shawshank Redemption. Andy Dufresne, to be clear, I'm going to spoil one of the best movies of all time, so if you haven't watched it, turn off the fucking video. Reach for your headphones, unplug that shit right now. It's not worth spoiling. Andy Dufresne is in prison. He's wrongfully in prison for something he didn't do. And after 20 or 25 years, he finally gets his chance where he's able to take some money. He's going to have an opportunity to escape, and everything's going to go well for him. And in that moment, he's really, really happy that he spent the last 25 years in prison with his little rock hammer chipping away at the walls so he'd actually be able to run out of there. For all the planning and all the things, once that opportunity came at the end of the movie, he would have not been able to take any of it if he didn't spend that 20 years chipping away at the wall. Now, you may think, well, what's the point of chipping away at the wall? There's guards, there's miles that I have to run. This is ridiculous. This is pointless. And you're probably right. If you have faith that there is a moment in the future where this is all going to be worthwhile, it becomes worthwhile. I had a billionaire call me in 2020 in the summer who wanted to talk about helping start a nonprofit for this whole world that we live in, where you don't have freedom with your technology anymore. And it was a little vague, but we wound up working through it and figuring out things that we could do with nonprofits, with his organization to try and help things out. And at that moment that he called me, I was very, very happy that I had spent the last 10 years of my life on YouTube never taking a paid sponsorship. Nobody has paid me to say, subscribe to Audible. Nobody's paid me to say Raycons are good earphones when they actually suck. And that was useful because in that moment, there was trust that was built up that allowed me to have a less frictionless relationship when we're talking about building something cool. You may not like these two figures, and I don't give a fuck. I'm just using it as an example, so fuck you if you're going to get pedantic in the comments over it. But if you look at something like Donald Trump becoming president, Mamdani becoming mayor of New York over Cuomo and everybody else in the Democratic establishment, these people had a moment. But for them to have that moment, there had to be a lot of work that was done beforehand for them to actually get to that point. There is going to be a point in the future where we are going to have an opportunity to bring ownership back, to bring freedom and technology back, to bring privacy and all of these things back. And when that moment comes, I would like this nonprofit with this project to be ready with every single fucking instance in citation of a company that has taken part in this type of anti-consumer bullshit, to have every single thing logged with citations so it's not just a bunch of random blog posts, but it's curated in a professional way by the community so that we could push back against it. I'm not a trust me bro type of guy, but trust me bro, there is a lot of stuff going on in the background right now to ensure that this type of anti-ownership crap is not something that is going to succeed into the future. And when that moment comes, when there is that regulator or that politician or that individual that works for this company, is like, okay, I see your point. Yeah, do you have an example? And the opposition goes, well, no, there's no examples of that. Lewis is talking about a problem that does not exist. I go, boom, and I drop 60 binders on their desk. I don't like printing, but for the effect, I will do that. I will take 60 binders of every fucking Wiki article with every citation and just drop it on the desk and say, where would you like me to begin? That moment is coming. Unlike my significant others for the most of my life. And when it does, it's important to me to be as prepared as humanly possible. And frankly, even if that moment never arrives, why are we not doing this to hold these people accountable to begin with? That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.